Capcom Arcade Stadium is suddenly the most popular game on Steam, but is it because the game is fun to play? No, people are actually flooding the game with bots so that they can make loads of money off of it. Find out more about this and other Steam-related news with another episode looking into gaming current affairs. Firstly, bots have made Capcom Arcade Stadium one of the most popular games on Steam. Since being launched, Capcom Arcade Stadium has averaged over 20 players per month, and that was their reality up until 2 weeks ago. So how is one of the most played games on Steam suddenly alongside fan favorites such as Counter-Strike, Apex Legends, PUBG, and Dota 2? Well, the game went from pay to play to free to play, and that means that bots designed for searching for Steam trading card games instantly downloaded it for a chance of earning some free money. So you can rest easy, gamers have not gone crazy over a half-decent retro emulator all of a sudden. There is still some hope for them. What are Steam trading cards? Steam has its own version of NFTs. Across almost all of their games exist these trading cards, which are purely digital collectibles, but you have the opportunity to buy, sell, or trade them in the Steam community market. The obvious question is, why would anyone choose to buy or sell them? Well, these trading cards have value because if you have a full deck of cards, you can trade these cards for a game-specific badge that can be visible on your Steam profile. These badges raise your XP, which helps you increase your Steam user level and earn you the chance of being visible in the Steam global leaderboard. See where we're going with this? You basically have the opportunity to buy your way into the Steam leaderboard without putting any actual effort into playing the game you claim to be good at. This is where the huge demand for trading cards comes from. The cards themselves do not cost more than a few cents, but since there are a lot of egocentric players out there, you have huge profit potential. Next, we look at the trading card bots. Whenever there is an incentive for profit in a commodity, people will compete to find the quickest way to produce that commodity, and that is exactly what happened here. People found a way to make bots mimic human activity and allow them to play the game on their behalf so you can acquire these trading cards with little to no effort. Valve is aware of this, however, and that's why they ensure that the price of all Steam trading cards does not exceed the price of the official games. This was so barely any profit can be made, and there's no incentive to have a trading card bot, right? Well, we wouldn't be having this conversation if things were that easy. Steam normally has special promotions where they make certain games free to play for a limited time. These bots are coded with the ability to instantly search for these free to play games, emulate their gameplay, and acquire the trading cards. This is why when Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 was free to play for a short time, we saw a similar surge in popularity. While the quality of Life is Strange does deserve a passionate fan base like this, the downloads were not driven by a love for the franchise, but merely greed. Next, we look at how Capcom Arcade Stadium became the most popular. Under normal circumstances, this game was free to download and only had one free game, 1943 The Battle of Midway. The other 31 games were DLC, which means players need to actually buy the game to get the trading cards. However, recently Capcom decided to drop trading cards in its completely free version, which is something that players avidly took advantage of by firing up their bots, resulting in 488,000 concurrent players almost overnight. Just in case you have any doubt if these players are actually bots, we know that before this incident, the number of players that completed the first achievement of the first game was around 44%. However, after this, around 9% of players could make the same claim. In other words, most of the active players playing this game right now have just opened the game and not played beyond the title screen. So what's next? One would assume that Steam would not receive recent developments favorable as a critically mediocre game just appeared in their most played tab. It hurts their credibility, but so far we have not encountered any statement by Valve regarding the incident. There's a lot of speculation that the incident was engineered by Capcom to attract more traction towards their game and brand, and honestly, if that's the case, the strategy surely has worked well for them. Due to the flooding of games, the price of the trading cards has plummeted from 9 cents to around 3 cents, with the current price of unsold cards at 4 cents. You must be wondering why such a low price is worth the hassle. If we're being honest with you, that question escapes us as well. Ultimately, whatever their reasons may be for hoarding these trading cards at such a low cost, it is really not harming anyone. There is no way to stop them other than banning these software programs, but people always find a way around it. All Valve can do is prevent such games, which are barely popular, from reaching their trading tab again, as that can be pretty embarrassing. If they do not, Valve may one day end up having the objectively worst game of all time, ending up in their most popular tab. Now for some other Steam news. With that, let's move on to other major news relating to the most commonly used video game platform. Steam Deck edges closer to release. Valve's very own handheld was supposed to release this month, but was delayed with Steam citing technical problems. The pre-order date of the Steam Deck is now set for February 2022. The good news is that the handheld gaming console has passed the design validation stage of its production, and hopes are that no major changes or delays are foreseen. The console has been the most awaited piece of gaming tech for years. Promises are being made of the console having the potential to play extremely hardware-draining games on the go. A concept like this has been tried before with the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch Lite to much success, but it must be noted that while the two consoles have the potential to play AAA games, they are still very incredibly underpowered. A lot of third-party third-party developers do not prefer making games for the Nintendo Switch for this very reason. This will not be the case for the Steam Deck, as the specs released show that it can play any game you need an LED TV for, right in your palm, with a near-perfect resolution, graphics, and frame rate. This is not just a promise, but has been tested by many YouTubers who were granted review copies of the console earlier this year. Just to add to the hype, Valve has released photos of the packaging the console is supposed to come with and the cover it will come in. All in all, we know that a technological revolution would be in the making the day Valve launches the Steam Deck. Final Fantasy XIV doubles their active player base. The game might be around 10 years old, but fans are still not tired of this critically acclaimed addition to the long-running franchise. The game has reached a peak of 91,000 active players, with the previous peak sitting at around 60,000 active players earlier this year in July. This was a record set on Steam, which is likely to break easily in the coming days. The game is coming out with an expansion pack for the first time in quite a while, and players who either pre-ordered it or are thinking of buying the expansion pack when it arrives. Pundits suggest that the recent rise in the popularity of Final Fantasy XIV may be due to an ongoing change in the video gaming status quo. For years, games by Activision Blizzard were one of the most popular games on Steam, but the recent scandal made players boycott games by the brand entirely, so gamers who usually played something like, say, World of Warcraft are now into other RPGs, including the Final Fantasy series. It would be interesting to see what games will see the limelight similar to this in the coming months, with the hole left by Activision Blizzard, or would see a popularity revival of the video game developing juggernaut. You have to admit, this video leaves a lot of questions answered. Will Valve take any question against the trading card community and their bots? Should we leave them alone? How excited are you for the Steam Deck? And who do you think will become the next Activision Blizzard? Let us know in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next round of gaming news. Ciao!